What's going on, guys? I hope that you're all having a wonderful day today. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ty, and today in this video, I'm going to be ranking every single Scream movie, from the first one in 1996 all the way up to the most recent one, Scream 6, in 2023. Now, guys, happy Halloween. This is my first annual Halloween special video. Even though this is my second year on YouTube where it's been Halloween, for some reason I just didn't make one last year, but I hope you guys like my lore-accurate The Batman 2022 costume. I mean, I know I don't have the eye black. I wore this costume last Halloween and I had the eye black, but unfortunately I just don't have it anymore. But guys, I mean, does it get much better than this? Let's just be serious here. I mean, look at this. As you guys can see here on screen, we have all 6 Scream movies. Oh, that's a bar. And 3 tiers. I know it's only 6 movies, but I still like tier lists for, the visual aid. But yeah, we have 3 tiers. The good, these are just the better Scream movies. The ones that are more in the middle of the pack, and then the bad ones, the ones that I really don't like that much. Also, just to be clear, I actually just recently watched all of these, so I have a fresh watch of all of them. Some of them I watched for the first time, which I'll probably mention, and then some of them I rewatched, but either way, these are all very fresh on my mind. Guys, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I've never been more uncomfortable making a video in my life. I'm currently sweating profusely under this mask, and it feels like it's 120 degrees in this room. You guys have no idea how hot this costume is. The rubber on the inside of this mask is like sticky. I don't want to get into it. Let's just get this ranking over with, okay? We're going to be going in order here, release order. I mean, just Scream 1 through 6. They made the numbering pretty easy. The first one's going to be Scream. Scream is, in my opinion, I don't mean to really spoil the list here, the best horror movie ever. It's my favorite horror movie ever. I feel like the thing about Scream is that, first of all, honestly, and this is just because it's a product of its time, it's such a good late 90s vibe film. I'm just going to be real. That has that good feeling. You're in a small town. It's the fall. It's Halloween. I absolutely love that. But it doesn't feel like it's just trying to be a scary horror movie. It's also trying to be a good movie on its own with a really intriguing mystery element to it. All of our characters here are great. We're introduced to the meta element, and I feel like that's just one of these things that a lot of other franchises are lacking, because this one just has so much creativity. The meta element that it has here, it's not trying to break the fourth wall or do this or that, but it knows it's a scary movie. It recognizes how stupid some scary movie tropes are, but it really embraces them. And it still does regular horror movie stuff, like there's kills, there's, people looking behind doors, there's people going off, by themselves when they should just be staying in the group, but they just play it off so well. The reveal in this one's so great, with Stu and Billy. It's just awesome, man. The whole cast is really just so peak here. It's the best to me. It's my personal favorite horror film ever, and I'm not really a horror film guy, just to be clear. So this is pretty much the only horror franchise I've seen every film for. So yeah, hopefully next year we'll do another franchise. But I think it's just about time to move on to Scream 2. Just so that you guys know, so I don't have to keep mentioning it. I've already seen Scream before, but for this ranking, I watched Scream 2, 3, and 4 for the first time, and then Scream 5 and Scream 6 I rewatched, so I've seen those. So I watched the first, I've watched 5 and 6, but 2, 3, and 4 were all first watches for me just in the past couple of days or weeks. So Scream 2, I think it's almost as good as the first movie. See, I probably have personal bias here because I didn't know this movie takes place in college, later on in their lives. Not really that much later, pretty soon after. But either way, it's a little bit later on in their lives. They're in college. I'm in college, and I think the way that they played this setting was just awesome. They're on this random campus of, this made-up school. Randy is in here at his peak, and of course his meta-ness kind of gets to him, and he ends up getting killed, spoiler alert. The reveal in here was so good because there's 2 killers in this. The first one I was like, that's kind of a little stupid. I was like, oh, that's how this movie's going to end. But there's a second layer to it, to where there's a second person, and you're like, oh my god, they're playing off Friday the 13th. So awesome. I like the way that the play is incorporated into here, with Sydney also trying to, break free from what feels like a curse with the Scream movies. Little does she know there's going to be 4 more movies down the line. But still, we're keeping all the meta-ness in here. It's funny. The intro's so stupid with Jada Pinkett Smith. But either way, Scream 2 I think is almost as good as the first film. Next up is going to be Scream 3, another first watch for me. This is going to go in the middle of the pack. I think that I really like the concept here. It feels like they were trying to go bigger. They were trying to go better. Didn't fully work. I feel like the reveal especially was a bit like, okay, that's a bit of a stretch, but I still do like it, and I do respect it, because at the end of the day, how many different types of reveals can you really do? There are some better ones down the line, but still, I kind of like the reveal, even though it's a bit weird. The fact that we're on the stab set here how much more meta does that get? I think it's so awesome for that reason. You're able to do a lot of really cool things on a movie set in a movie. Some of the kills in here are really awesome. I like this cast that we have, even though it is bringing in some newer characters, bringing in some older characters. You don't see anything coming, and I've got to say, again, even though it isn't exactly the greatest film in the world, I still really enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I think that, you know, our main trio here, you've got Patrick Dempsey as well. Who doesn't love having Patrick Dempsey in a film? So I think it's a pretty solid Scream film. I'm really enjoying it. Next up, we've got Scream 4. See, I don't really know like what Scream fans, like diehard Scream fans, even though I'd consider myself a Scream fan now, I really love this franchise. I don't know what Scream fans really think of all these films. I know, you know, they think the first one's the best. Besides that, though, I don't really know. I think that Scream 4 is going to be going in the bad category. Now, listen, I'm going to be honest, I feel like this is where this franchise really started to go downhill. I guess technically, you know, after the third, clearly, like I said, it's not as good as the first one. But this fourth one, I feel like it's so dated. It came out in 2011, and I feel like a lot of what they're talking about is about, you know, oh, you know, the internet and how you can be made out to be someone on Twitter. And it's like, okay, we get it. The internet and social media was new at the time, but it comes out as kind of cringe now. Even like the cinematography and just the way that it feels, again, it just has this feel to it that is so 2011 that when you watch it now, it's not even really campy. It almost feels like they went a little bit too far with the meta. I really like some of the jokes in here, like the Bruce Willis joke. Some of the kills are awesome, but the reveal in this one, I was kind of rolling my eyes a bit. I was like, okay, fine. But yeah, there's definitely some laughs. Don't get me wrong. Again, I really do enjoy this franchise. I think this is like an okay movie, you know, maybe a little bit below average. But either way, I had a good time with it because it was my first watch, so yeah, it's going to be going in the bad. Next up is going to be Scream 5. I mean, this is really pushing the franchise forward because, you know, these four are all relatively connected, but now we're getting, you know, new lead characters. We're moving on into this new saga with Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega. I think Scream 5 is honestly a horrible movie. I really don't like this film. I've seen it twice now. I think it is like really, really, really bad. Like as a film, as a horror film, as a Scream film altogether, a lot of the meta stuff that they try to do in here, I feel like is super corny. They're referencing like Hereditary and like The Babadook, but it just comes off as so cringe to me. Also, I don't know why you put Jenna Ortega in this movie, but she's basically just crippled the entire film because she was stabbed in the intro like 50 times. So she doesn't really get to do anything, and she gets to do a lot more in Scream 6, which I'll get to in a minute. But I just feel like, I don't know, this film isn't that good. I really don't like the reveal. Even the whole premise about how now it's like we're redoing the first movie. I'm not really a fan of that at all. I really, really don't like this movie. This is one of my least favorite horror films. Might be a hot take. Don't get me wrong. Like, some of the characters I thought were okay. However, miraculously, Scream 6 somehow, like, revived this franchise. I think that Scream 6, I don't know why I'm saying Scream 4, is the third best movie in the franchise. I think it's awesome. I love Scream 6. I'm just gonna, you know, put 2, 2, and 2, just that we don't have 3 and 1, but it's definitely a really good Scream film. I feel like this movie was like, you know what? Let's just turn the dirt over and get a completely fresh start. We're bringing our characters from that fifth movie, but we're pulling them out of the same generic place that we've been in, which is, okay, I get it, Woodsboro or whatever. But now, instead, we're going to New York City. And as someone that's kind of located near New York City, I thought it was so cool how it wasn't just in the city, it utilized the city. We're on the subway, we're in a bodega, we're in a theater, we're moving around through apartment buildings. So awesome. Also, it's a bit of a college film, which is, you know, again, maybe my bias is kind of going crazy here. And even though it's kind of laying off the reveal from Scream 5, I actually really like the reveal of Scream 6 because it kind of pays tribute to the past without trying to feel too nostalgia-baity. That's another huge issue I had with Scream 5. I feel like it was trying to be, you know, oh, it's like No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. We're bringing back all the old characters. Whereas Scream 6, it felt like the old characters were more of just like a tool. Really, really enjoyed Scream 6. The ladder kill is so awesome. And it has arguably my favorite intro besides Scream 1. Like, I love the intro. It's so cool. But guys, that's going to just about do it for my Scream ranking. I literally, after talking for like 15 minutes, feel like I'm about to overheat and die, and I'm sweaty, and I'm a mess. I really hope that you guys enjoyed my Ty Reviews Halloween special, if you will. I know it's a little corny, but who cares, right? We're just having fun. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys. and I'll see you all in the next